Welcome. This is a presentation for Wealth Genius members and the like. It is called Love Your Real Estate Investing Like a Hobby, but Build It Like a Business. Sorry, I'm just going to double check. There we are. There we are. So, hi, Diana Lidstone here. Love your real estate investing like a hobby, but build it like a business. So, here is the question. Here is the question. Why are some real estate investors more successful than others? Why does it seem that there are some of them who get chosen so easily, they get hired over their competition? Why is it that there are some that seem to have these deals coming all the time, right? They have these great properties to purchase. There are some of them that seem to attract capital investors, and you wonder, how do they do that? And then, not just in real estate investing, but in other businesses too. Why are some mortgage brokers more successful? Some accountants, some lawyers, maybe even some real estate agents. What makes them more successful than others? And the answer to that, my friend, is what we are going to talk about today in this class. So I'm going to, sorry, have to bear with me here as I get the technology working. That's right. So some people, they seem to be more successful. They seem to have it all together. And the answer to this question or these questions really is that they are building their portfolio like a business. And business is really, it's like a game. And if you think of the Super Bowl, that's right, the Super Bowl, there are winners and there are losers. And there's lots of competition, right? So much competition. And to win at any game, think Super Bowl, right? What are they doing? To win at any game at the Super Bowl, they've got to have a game plan. That's right. And they've got to have a game plan as opposed to winging it or wishing and hoping. Pure luck just isn't going to cut it. And too many real estate investors, too many other people who start what they think are businesses, they don't have a game plan. So we're going to talk about that. How would it feel? How would you feel, my friends, if you could first identify, then execute a game plan, a strategy that would help you win at the game of business? What if you knew the one thing that would be like a domino, like make those dominoes fall into place? What if you knew that one strategy that would help you increase your revenue substantially, that would attract capital investors, that would attract deals, and that would give you the freedom and the impact that you truly wanted? How would that make you feel? And I'm sure you've all been to boot camps, right? Wealth Genius boot camps. And you've heard Alfonso talk about it's really important to have knowledge, but knowledge without action and implementation doesn't really work. So today, what I want to share with you is number one, I want to share with you and give you some knowledge and some skills. I want to share that with you. But then I also want to make sure that you have a resource to help you execute this. Because for you, I want 2014. No, 2024 to be an amazing year. I want you to expand your business. Sound good? All right, let's get to it. Let's get to it. Now, I know for some of you, you might be going, who the heck, right, is this woman who stood on the stage at Expand in December? And why should I listen to her? Who the heck is she anyway? Well, first of all, I am known for my straight talk and my no BS. which means you're going to get some stuff today that isn't fluff at all. And it means what I'm going to share with you is solid and proven. You see, I've been a business owner for more than 40. Yes, that's right. 40 years, which means there isn't much out there that I haven't seen or done in terms of business. My clients get consistent results using a results driven framework without paid ads, without complicated funnels. And are you listening? Often without social media. I've worked in 40, 50 different industries using this. And today, my clients go from six figures to multiple millions while working fewer hours a week. And I call this work less, profit more. I'm also a human. I'm a mother, I'm a grandmother, I'm a wife. And if you follow me on Facebook, you'll know that I love going for walks with my dog. I love playing with my grandson, and I am passionate about drinking champagne. Not all three at the same time. Okay, good. So, enough about me. Let's get down to some nitty gritty. Here we go. We're going to talk about three principles, and I want you to write these principles down. It's really, really important. So, the first principle is you are an expert. That's right. You're an expert maybe in real estate investing, maybe because you've got some knowledge, maybe you've got some expertise. Maybe you're an expert because you're a lawyer, an accountant, a real estate agent, a mortgage broker. Some of you aren't quite experts yet, but that's okay. That's why you're here at Wealth Genius, right? Good. So, number one, you're an expert. Number two, you are building a business. That's right. Why is Alfonso so successful? Alfonso is very successful because he is not building a hobby. He is building a business. He is using the mindset, the skills, the knowledge. He's constantly learning and he is implementing it. Now, here's a concept about business I'd like to share with you. Business is like a coin. Think of, a loonie. One side of the coin is your expertise, right? That's the thing that you're the expert at. The other side of the coin is the business of business. How to run a business, how to build a business, how to launch, how to design it, how to structure it, right? How to make it profitable without pulling your hair out, all those things. But the mistake that I often see, and I'm sorry, I wish, someone had told me this earlier, is that too many entrepreneurs, too many business owners, too many real estate agents or real estate investors or mortgage brokers spend so much of their time increasing their knowledge of their expertise, that one side of the coin. They go to webinars, they take courses, they do all that to increase their expertise. That's the one side of the coin. But they forget about the other side of the coin. My question is, have you spent or invested as much time, money, and energy on both sides of the coin? The expertise and the business. Okay? All right. You're an expert, you're building a business. Here's the third principle. You're not in the business that you think you are. That's right. I guarantee you are not in the legal business. You are not in the real estate investing business. You are not in the mortgage broker business. That's not the business you're in. The business that you're in is ensuring that your product or service stands out in a crowded marketplace. In other words, you're in the business of positioning your services so that you get chosen over your competition. Right? Remember, we said there's a lot of competition out there. You want your customer to take notice of you and then to ultimately choose you, hire you, invest with you, send you deals. That's what you ultimately want. So the three principles that I shared, you're an expert, you're building a business, and the third is you're in the business of positioning your business to stand out from the competition. Okay? Make sense? Awesome. Now, just for a second, I want to go back to some business principles that I know Alfonso shares frequently. He teaches us that there are the four P's, P like Peter, in business. So he talks about people. People include not just your customers, but they include your suppliers, your team, right? Your customers, all the people that you interact with. Product, service, whatever you want to call it. If it's attracting capital, if it's getting deals, that's a that's what your people are paying you for. The third is processes. People, product, processes. So as your business grows, and if you want to scale it, take it to the next level, you need processes. Okay? And of course, the fourth P is profit. That's what business is all about, generating a profit. Profit is different than revenue. I'm sure you know that. Now, today I'm going to teach you the fifth P. The fifth P is called positioning. So, what the heck is positioning? For those of you who are not familiar with that, here we go. Positioning. Positioning is the space that your brand takes up in the mind of your customer compared to your competition. You see, your customer has a perception of you, your brand, compared to your competition. Subconsciously, they're comparing you. Subconsciously, they're comparing you and making buying decisions every single moment. So let's think about this for a second. Think about the last time that you bought something, a product or a service. And so I'm going to share with you a couple of weeks ago, I was visiting Cali, Colombia. Very hot, very humid, and you're thirsty all the time. On the last day, we went to the zoo. I was only there an hour or so, and I already drank all the water that I had. So I had to make a buying decision. And I had some choices subconsciously. I could go to the fountain, which was free. Okay. I could go to a kiosk and maybe spend, I don't know, $2 on a bottle of water. Or at the kiosk, I could buy a fancy water, maybe bubbly, maybe in a square bottle. I had three choices. But subconsciously, for me, that buying decision was based on one thing and one thing only. You see, I don't care if I'm hip and, drinking bubbly water. What I do care about is whether the water in the water fountain is safe to drink. They didn't have a sign on the water fountain. They, maybe. So there was a question in my mind. So I went with the certain thing. The certainty was to buy that $2 bottle of water. A buying decision. I made the decision of the choices subconsciously. And your customer is doing exactly the same kind of thing every time you post on social media, every time you go to networking, every time you have a deal, every time you're looking for capital investment. So instead of water, let's talk about a real business example. So I'm going to imagine or take you back to the late 1950s, early 60s, when automobiles were truly shaping North America. And new businesses based on those automobiles were popping up everywhere. And there was a young man in his 40s, and he knew the car leasing business. That was his expertise. But he saw an opportunity in the car rental business. So he took his expertise from car leasing and said, I'm going to open a car rental agency. And he took all 7 of his cars and opened an office. Now, the story goes that this young man never answered the phone on his first ring or his second ring, maybe his third or fourth ring. Why? Because he wanted people to think that he was busier than he was. The truth of the matter was, when he started out, he wasn't that busy. So he realized he had to do something. And he wasn't sure exactly what to do. But let me back this up a little bit. This young man had served in the U.S. Air Force. He served on a naval aircraft carrier, and he eventually named his business after this naval carrier. This young man's name was, are you ready? Yep. It was, oh my God, Jack Taylor. That's right, Jack Taylor. And he named his business after that aircraft carrier, the USS Enterprise. Today, what is Enterprise Car Rental known for? What have they built their reputation on over and over again? The one thing that they've become the undeniable authority for: we'll pick you up and drop you off. Okay? You see, Jack Taylor realized he couldn't differentiate himself with the cars, because the big 3 plus him, they all bought their cars from exactly the same place: Chev, Ford, whatever. He couldn't locate at the airports like the big 3 because those airport locations were super, super expensive, and the other guys had bought all the other locations. So he had to differentiate himself. He had to stand out from his competition in a very different way. He decided to appeal to that traveler who goes, but I got to order a taxi. I got to get to the airport. Then I got to get, a rental car. Or, I pick up a rental car and there's a long lineup. He found a problem and he solved it in a very different way. Jack Taylor's business, when he died, was valued more than the aggregate of the top 3 agencies, those big 3. You see, he created a distinct competitive advantage by positioning his car rental agency different from the other. He stood out from his competition. So, what does that mean for you? What does that mean? So, what that means is, without this strong positioning, Enterprise never would have grown to the value that it had. The positioning in the marketplace differentiated him from his competition. He went from being the best kept secret, the guy who didn't answer the phone, to becoming the undeniable authority. Strong positioning is the difference between success and failure of your business. But the vast majority of business owners, they just don't understand this. They skip over this. They miss this. And what happens is they end up spending so much more time and investing money in the wrong places. But how does this relate to you? How does the positioning of your business so that you become that undeniable authority in your customer's mind? Well, in the Wealth Genius family, we already have some people who are undeniable authorities, right? When we think of multifamily, we think of Alfonso. When we think of land development, Karina Guzman. When I think of the undeniable authority for complex real estate law strategy, I think of Milena Cardinal. These individuals have strong brand positioning, strong company positioning. They focus on their unique zone of genius, and they're building a winning business. Okay. Now, I want to share with you something that I have learned over the years, in the 40 odd years that I've been a business owner. And I call this the three stages of positioning. As we grow our business, some people go through three stages, some people stay stuck in one stage or another. So, as I'm going through this, as I'm explaining this, I'd love for you to think about what stage are you really in? What stage are you really in? Now, I'm going to flip to my flip chart, as she says, and bring it a little closer so that you can really take a look. I've pre-drawn this so that you can actually see this. Okay. So the three stages. We all start over here. I hate to say it, friends, but we all start as the unknown expert. We refer to ourselves as a real estate investor, a mortgage broker, a real estate agent, right? And unfortunately, by doing that and by doing many other things, we sound just like everybody else in our industry. Our social media content is very similar. We introduce ourselves very similar. We use the same language at networking events. The content that we produce is so similar to everybody else. It's like you could just take the talking head and exchange it. Okay. You see, you're the expert, but you're the best kept secret. Your phone, just like Jack Taylor's, probably not ringing as often as you want. And although you're doing all this marketing stuff, you're frustrated because it's not bringing in the clients you want. Well, my friends, we have all been there, and it's not your fault. Once you have finished listening to this recording, you'll understand what it means to shift and not be the best kept secret so that you can attract the capital investment, so that you can get those deals flowing or whatever else it is that you want in your business, basically increasing your revenue. So as we transition out of the unknown expert, we get to stage two. And stage two is the competitive stage. Things are going a little better in our businesses. The phone's ringing a little bit more. You know, we're paying our bills. We're still doing all this networking and social media. But you become a little more aware, shall I say, of which of these things, what type of content maybe is working a little better, or which platform is working a little better for you. But you still have a big problem. And the big problem is that you go, I'm having sales conversations, but they're not closing. And the sales conversations may be weeks, months, whatever it is. And eventually you go, and you look over there and you go, that prospect signed with somebody else. They went with somebody else. They went to my competition. And you went, but I have just as good a service or a product as they do. And so you're kind of scratching your head. Why? It's because their messaging, their content, their differentiation appealed to that prospect. So, stage one, you're the best kept secret. Stage two, you're being compared. And then all of a sudden, the gauge flips, whoop, over here to what I call the undeniable authority. And this is where you are the sought after expert. And notice I use the word the. People go to you expecting to pay high ticket or expecting to have big capital investment or big properties or whatever it is that you want. You are the undeniable authority. You have a reputation for this one thing. And your marketing, whether it's speaking on the stage, whether it is social media, whether it is email, whatever it happens to be, does the heavy lifting for you. And when people finally have conversations with you, They go, well, of course, I want to work with you. You are the undeniable authority, right? So this is when you feel you have that constant flow. And this is when you get off the revenue roller coaster. There we are, 3 stages. So my question to you, my friends, is I don't need to know which stage you're at, 1, 2, or 3. I just need to know if you know where you are on the meter. Have I explained it well enough so that you know whether you're at stage 1, 2, or 3? Second part of that question is, are you exactly where you want to be? Only you can answer that. You see, too many real estate investors, business owners were never taught how to position their expertise so that they become the undeniable authority. What that means is not being the undeniable authority is costing them lost revenue, lost deals, lost capital investments, lost freedom, lost impact. It means that business owners out there posting on social media, using GPT chat, going to tons of networking, are expecting those activities alone to attract the deals and the capital investors. But all this activity won't work at all. I know from experience, I was there, until you stop sounding like everybody else in your industry. It won't work until you stand out from your competition, and it won't work until you differentiate you, your brand, and your business. So perhaps by now you're wondering, Diana, there's this big gap here. How do we fill that big gap? Hold on. Let me get my marker. Okay, so what we're going to talk about next is how to fill that gap, how to move the needle in your business. Okay, and this is what I call my expert positioning formula. EPF. Okay, now the expert positioning formula is what is going to move the needle. And the expert positioning formula comprises of 5 different elements. The problem is very often business owners come to me and they have 1, maybe 2 of those elements. And they wonder why the needle kind of moves like this. And then all of a sudden, boop, it falls back. The market changes, something shifts and they can't seem to get over to becoming that undeniable authority. So you've got to make sure that you have all 5 of these. Hope you've got your pen and paper ready. The first one is you have to be clear on your 3-year vision. It's got to be written. It's got to be shared with your team. You've got to build a culture around it. Your vision, stated, acts like a GPS. So when I'm working with my clients, I'll often say, okay, remind me what your vision is again. Is this activity, this maneuver, this strategy, whatever it is, going to get you closer to that vision? Or is it just a bright, shiny object? Number 1 is vision. Number 2, you've got to discover and then articulate your zone of genius. What are you so good at that your competition doesn't do? And you've got to be able to articulate it. I help you develop that. I help you discover it and articulate it through what I call my magic rule of 1. Third thing, intellectual property. And I know some people might go, intellectual property, yeah. So I have my EPF, expert positioning formula. I have a grow equation. I have several different things that nobody else as a business coach has. And people look at it and go, huh, I haven't heard of it put just like that before. But when you can do that, people go, huh, they stop, they think. Having your own intellectual property is one of the biggest ways that you can differentiate yourself, and it is probably one of the most difficult things to come up with. I've taken many courses on this, and to this day, I have helped many different entrepreneurs, business owners create their own intellectual property. Whether they are a $50,000 client, in other words, that's what they're earning, or a multi-million dollar client, I have helped them do the same thing. It helps them stand out from their competition because no one else thinks that way. So that's 3. The fourth fundamental of the expert positioning formula is about content. Content that you love creating, number 1. Number 2, that your prospect loves consuming. And there are several different ways or content types. And this is what I teach my clients so that they're not just adding noise to all that social media or the blogs or the emails that are out there. And last but not least, the 5th element is a simple client attracting website. You see, there are too many websites out there that, a real estate agent sounds just like this real estate agent, a financial advisor sounds just like this financial advisor, but their websites can do the heavy lifting for them if they're built the right way. I'm not going to build your website for you, but I am going to give you some essential content. And as I said, you absolutely need all 5 of these elements. That's right, all 5 of these elements if you want to become the undeniable authority. 1 or 2 just isn't going to cut it. The EPF, Expert Positioning Formula, is that one domino strategy that will help you increase your revenue, increase your impact, attract the right kinds of deals, attract the right types of capital investors. That's what's going to move your business forward. So a little earlier, I talked about how Alfonso said that we need to have the skills and the information. So I've given you the skills and information, and now I'm going to give you the resource for implementing it. And that's right, I'm going to give you the resource. Because truthfully, you have 3 options. 1, you can go and do it yourself, right? And I guarantee going and doing it yourself is going to be more costly and take a lot longer. How do I know? Been there, done that, tried it, don't recommend it. The other thing that you could do, if it's within your budget, it's not for everyone, is you can work with me privately. I love working privately, and I have some amazing clients that can tell you what it's exactly like to work with me. We will go through these 5 elements of the expert positioning formula exactly the same way, plus, plus, plus. And the 3rd option is what I showed you. I can invite you, I'd love to invite you into this program that I've created. It's called Differentiate to Grow. And it is a results-driven framework where I've helped hundreds of businesses go from unknown expert to undeniable authority. Okay? It is what shifts them totally. So there it is at the bottom of your screen. Now, I want to go back here. Sorry. I just want to make sure that you understand this is not for newbies. This is not for newbies from, real estate investors. It's not for a newbie to wealth genius. It's not for someone who has never started a business. Go learn your expertise first. That one-sided coin. But if you've had some experience and your business, it could go to the next level, and you've identified that you are, this best kept secret, the unknown expert, and you're committed to growing your revenue, then I think this program could be exactly for you. Okay. Imagine what it would be like to start 2024 next year by solidifying these 5 foundational maneuvers so that you are on the path to becoming that sought after expert in the field. And that's why I'm starting this program January 3rd. That's right. We start January 3rd. You can use the QR code, or you can simply go to my website /differentiate-WG. You see, programs like this that have a combination of 3 things. You get private coaching with me. You get an online portal where there's workbooks and templates and other resources, including specific podcast episodes to refer to for more information. And then you're going to get the group coaching with me. So the group coaching is 10 weeks. 1 week, here we go. The 1 week, you're going to get teaching from me. Then you're going to get homework. And the second week, you are going to produce your homework, get some feedback from me, be held accountable, and get feedback from others in the group. Okay? So a program like this could be worth $10,000. There's always also bonuses that you're going to get. But Alfonso has this mission: no one left behind. And I didn't want to leave anybody behind. So I've made this an affordable $3,500. And yes, there is a payment plan. But here's the thing, my friends. There are many of you who are sitting there on the fence and going, well, should I? And I can tell who are the fast action takers, who are going to be the ones committed in their business because they press that join now button, they make their payment, and then they book their appointment with me. You got to take action, 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 action. So imagine what it would be like to finally stop being the best kept secret, or to be constantly compared to your competition. Instead, what would it be like to be the undeniable authority where people came to you? You didn't have to go out hunting for them. They came to you. You stopped that roller coaster, that revenue roller coaster. Things kind of smoothed out. They kind of started going up. Your prospects think of you first instead of your competition. And oh my God, you expanded your business in 2024. That's what I want for you. That's my heart's desire for you, is that you take your business to the next level. So in wrapping up, my client and Wealth Genius member, Milena Cardinal, a lawyer, when she came to me, she was over here. She felt invisible, the best kept secret. She had lots of competition because she was doing general legal work in a small city here in Ontario. And truthfully, she will tell you she didn't know the next best steps for her to take so that deals would flow in, so that work would flow in, and so that she had the type of business that she actually loved. She stopped winging it. She stopped guessing it. She stopped wasting time. We repositioned her business to become the undeniable authority. And we used that expert positioning formula. The results, and you can have them too. Profits skyrocketed, not just revenue, profits, because that's really what we should be measuring. She's constantly being asked to speak on stages, and that speaking attracts those clients that she wants to work with. What can I say? Now, you know, I have other success stories, but I wanted to share Milena's because she is in Wealth Genius. I'm going to repeat this. The success of your business lies in you understanding that you are in the business of positioning your services so you stand out in a crowded marketplace and get chosen. You get chosen over your competition. You see, I will stake my reputation totally on the fact that if you aren't where you want to be in your business, your positioning could be improved. You see, positioning is the key to doubling your income without working longer hours. Standing out from your competition is what will get you engagement on that social media and send those dream clients, dream investors, dream deals to you. Differentiating your brand and your business is what will attract the things that you want, will attract the revenue, the dream deals, that capital investment. I can't stress hard enough how repositioning your business will be that domino strategy that will catapult your business to a new level in 2024. Do I have guarantees? Somebody asked me today. I said, no. How can I guarantee? How can I guarantee you're going to do the work? But here's what I promise. I promise I will do everything in my power to help you implement those 5 foundational elements of the expert positioning formula. And if at the end you're still not where you think you should be, I promise to give you more private time. And I've done this before. Okay? It's not easy for everybody. But I want every single one of you to succeed. So I started this talk about how you can love your real estate investing like a hobby, but you've got to build it like a business. You've got to build both sides of that coin, not just your expertise, but your business skills. So I hope this has helped you understand the 5th P, which is positioning. And I'm looking forward to working with those of you who are fast action takers, who are ready to jump on the bandwagon, who are ready to expand your business in 2024. Thank you so much. I look forward to connecting with you at another Wealth Genius event or another real estate investing or wherever it may be. Thank you so much for your time. It's been my pleasure. Take care. Bye for now. Oh, by the way, remember, you can do this.